What's up, guys? Welcome to another match here with Jeskai Geist. We won the die roll, and we would love to play first. Yep. This is a pretty solid hand. No Geist or anything like that, but I think it's a keep. Sorry, let's see what our opponent is doing. We have Spell Snare, Path to Exile, Snapcaster Mage, so we've got interaction, Cryptic Command to work towards. No burn, so you know, we should worry about like an aggressive start from our opponent. We got Path, we have Snare, but we don't have much else. Okay, maybe we should have kept up Spell Snare for those turn 1 crazy shenanigans from yeah, this could be 2-mana threat here from Affinity. Whew. We could get lucky though. They might just... Oh, no, Mox Opal. Ooh, Cranial Plating. It's still Overseer. Okay, alright. So that's definitely getting Path to Exiled. We don't want to do it on upkeep because then our opponent's going to get to actually activate it once. So, unfortunately, we may be ramping our opponent into, like, Etch Champion, but there's not much we can do about Etch Champion at this point. Alright, Inkamoth is coming through for 1 point of Infect. Interesting. That's the line they're going for here. Another Inkamoth, sure. Oh, they still have 3. Alright, this we are definitely Spell Snaring. We'll go ahead and get a Steam Vents. Alright, so now the question is, I think we play Flooded Strand. And we pass here. So Affinity is not an easy matchup, but it's generally favored for us if we can dodge Etch Champion, more or less. An abundance of Path and things like that definitely help us. So their last card could be like a Cranial Plating. I still think this is worth Spell Snaring for sure. If the last card is an Etch Champion, you know, there's not much we can do there. But yeah, this is definitely a threat worth Spell Snaring for sure. One of their powerhouse threats. So they had a pretty good start here. And that's the thing about Affinity, like, even in one of your probably worst matchups in the meta, you can still run them over. So now we gotta make sure not to misclick on anything else. Oh, what the? Sure. And Kamoth is in. Okay, interesting. Interesting that they do that in response. Doesn't seem like there's any reason to, considering we also have Path, but... Alright, here we take 2 Infect. I mean, if we don't draw Lightning Bolts, these Inkamoth Nexi could get in for a ton of damage. So, no point in holding Snapcaster Mage back. Let's just go ahead and attack here. Play an island, and pass. Now, soon we'll have Colonnade to block, but if we can't make that, like make it to that point, you know, it'll be for nothing. So... thing is, they don't know we're Jeskai Geist, so they're definitely playing around Cryptic Command right now. Which is annoying, because we actually have it. So it's nice when they play around Cryptic Command when they don't have it. Ooh, okay, Welding Jar. Yeah, sure. I don't think we counter Welding Jar. My guess is they probably have like a Galvanic Blast in hand. That would be the most reasonable thing to assume. Alright. So I don't think they played a land yet this turn, right? So I don't think bouncing does anything. I think we just take the 2 Infect here. And hope we can find interaction soon. Or start blocking soon. Because those Inkmoth Nexuses are gonna end the game pretty quick. Okay, so Let's go ahead and attack with Snapcaster Mage. Now we have to make a decision, because considering we drew Geist of St. Traft, let's see how much mana our opponent can make. They can rev up 1, play a Cranial Plating, and attach it if they draw one, and then we're dead. However, if we keep a remand, they can't do that. So here we're just going to try to race our opponent as best as we can with Geist of St. Traft. Steel Overseer. I'm actually going to go ahead and remand that. I don't know when the next chance I'll get to remand a spell. Spellcaller is actually pretty nice to block. Alright, there's the Steel Overseer once more. There's one more Inkmoth Nexus, which we will not block. But now we have the... Okay, so here we have a lot of options, actually. We can Cryptic tap their team after they rev up the Inkmoth Nexuses right before combat. Let's go ahead and attack first. My guess is they're not blocking. This is 8 damage coming through. And they will have lethal with their Inkmoth Nexuses next turn with their Steel Overseer. So unless they attack me for lethal here, they're probably dead. Okay. We will wait till they go to the beginning of combat, and this is where we're going to go ahead and... Right? If we tap all creatures our opponents control and draw a card... We should have lethal in the air unless they have another Ornithopter to play. Alright, they'll go ahead and use Steel Overseer, probably a smart decision. Galvanic Blast Snapcaster Mage, okay, interesting, because they... That's another... Okay, Bolt makes things a little bit easier. If Galvanic Blast is the only other card in their hand, now we can play around it. Right, we will counter target spell, draw a card. And Lightning Bolt them. Poof! Oh my gosh. Well, that was intense, guys, right? Okay, let's get to sideboarding where this matchup gets a little bit easier. Let's bring all of that hate. Get in here. Come on. Oof. Oof. Alright. Question is, what are we cutting, right? Okay. Cut Remand, for sure. Probably cutting Spell Queller as well. And we have a lot of stuff to bring in this matchup. Alright, shake it off, shake it off. Removal is 100% gotta stay in. There's an argument to cut Logic Knot, but it does counter Etched Champion on the draw, assuming no mana acceleration. However, we may want cards that just affect the board, and Logic Knot might just be a little too slow. Spell Snare is kind of that sweet spot against Affinity. Maybe when we want to cut one Cryptic, even though it won us the game there, we may want to cut one. Maybe cut a Geist as well, because we're probably going to be winning through controlling the game rather than anything else. Yeah, we'll cut 2 Geists. Maybe 1 Helix, as it's a little slow. Is Helix better than Blessed Alliance is the question, I guess. And I think it is. Although this can get Etched Champion. That's the beauty of this card. So I guess we'll cut 1 Helix. But it's also burn to close out a game. Yeah, this is tough. Maybe we don't need all the Anger of the Gods. Maybe just 1. We have Static Acid Verdict as well, Wear Tear, Ceremonious Rejection, Stony Silence. We have a lot of stuff to bring in this matchup. And I think we want our spot removal against things like Steel Overseer pretty quickly. Although I have seen Affinity opponents just completely side out Steel Overseer in matches like this. This, however, is a great hand. This is this is how we draw it up, right? I mean, turn 1, Ceremonious Rejection. Turn 2, Stony Silence. Like, all right. I don't think it gets much better than this. We have Serum Visions as well if they like Thoughtseize us turn 1. But we could also just keep up Spell Snare as well. I'm going to go on F6 here, let our opponent dump their entire hand. Yep. Yep, that's the plating. That's actually... That's pretty good. They dodged... Alright, they're probably gonna... Interesting. So... Do we want to take this opportunity and Spell Snare this while we can? How much damage are we going to be taking here? They'll equip 1, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Activate Inkmoth 5 damage this turn. We play... I think saving damage is more important, and I also don't want to give them a basic land to shut off Mox Opal next turn. Alright, so they have another Blinkmoth Nexus. Yep, makes it 5 damage. And so the beauty of Stony Silence is once we path... Oh, shoot, whoops, that was... Oh, that was almost a freak out moment right there, right? So they can still deal us, what, 6 damage here, but we... Alright, 7 damage. But then they won't be able to re-equip Cranial Plating afterwards. Alright, so to say this game is over is very wrong. Alright, Serum Visions it is. Let's see, Wear Tear is... We need red for the artifact, so we're actually looking for lands here. And we want to path this during their turn, just because we don't want them to re-equip it to the Inkmoth Nexus or something like that. Alright, let them attack first. Let's see what they attack with. I mean... Whew. I mean, it's how you draw it up, but turn 1 Cranium Plating definitely does a lot of damage there. And now if we can draw a red source, we're going to be in business. That's not a red source. Both of these are fantastic. Oh, but we don't have any red sources. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. This feels pretty rough. Just digging for a red source here. I think we have to keep... We'll have to go top. Because we can go Snap Path next turn. Galvanic Blast kills us. I mean, there's nothing we can stop a Galvanic Blast from, so... I think this is going to be really close. I think we're going to be down to 1. Alright. Come on, red mana, where are you, man? This game could have been... We could have survived this game. It's champion, okay. Do we want to Ceremonious Rejection that? No, because we're going to go ahead and Supreme Verdict next turn. Oh my gosh. But then we go to 1 from the Memnite. That was a mistake. Now we're forced to run out Snapcaster to block here. I guess. Yeah, that was a mistake. I apologize, guys. And we know we're drawing Path to Exile, so that's one thing. Opponent has 3 mana sources. Okay, they tap red mana. I was so scared there. We're at 1. If we can untap here and they don't play a threat. Alright. Darksteel Citadel, good to see, good to see. And Path to Exile is another fantastic draw. Oh. Yep. I'm going to let them attack first. Path to Exile. No more lands. All right, that's a good sign. They have another Inkmoth Nexus though, so we're not out of the clear yet. That's just a 1/1, but it's a 1/1 that will kill us. We need red mana. We need red mana really badly. And now even a fetch land isn't worth it. All right, Geist is something. It will help us close out this game if we can survive. Okay, it's another Inkmoth. Okay. Whip Flare deals 2 damage to each non-artifact creature. Alright. Here we could path to exile ourselves, get a red source. I think that's worth it. Yep. That's a dead card, so... Well, it's not a dead card if we Lightning Helix. So, I'll go ahead and play it. So, Whip Flare was pretty timely there from our opponent. Yep, Inkmoth Nexus revved up. Looks like they're only sending one our way. I will go ahead and Helix. Try to gain some life here. Cranial Plating, sure. The reason I let it resolve is because of Stony Silence. Now we have another red source. And here we can actually start attacking with Colonnade. We still have Ceremonious Rejection for anything crazy off the top. We can never stop Galvanic Blast as it is. I get a mini heart attack every time they tap red mana there. Alright, so this Blink Moth is actually a pretty good draw. It means we can't attack with... Oh, I mean, we could attack with Colonnade. Wow, that's a pretty poor draw. Okay, so let's think about it. If we attack with Colonnade, I think it's just better to keep up Lightning Bolt here. Ornithopter is not scary. It's not something we want to care about right now. Cryptic Command is a pretty good draw. So now we're just kind of playing this control game. We can counter basically anything they have off the top. Stony Silence shuts down any of their powerhouse threats. Signal Pest. Signal Pest can be got with Anger of the Gods. So, but if we use Anger of the Gods, that means we're tapping out of red mana. So maybe let's go ahead and pass. Spell Snare. Oh, and our opponent just concedes. All right. I mean, we had a pretty good lock on that game. I mean, we're at 3, but yeah, we have a pretty good Affinity matchup here. So, and we got all of our necessary hate cards. All right. So, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the 3rd round with Jeskai Geist.